At 57, Mariah Carey sat alone in a quiet room, far away from the flashing lights and loud crowds that had followed her for decades. No glam team, no stage, no spotlight, just a camera, and something she had been holding in for a long time. Her voice, the same voice that once filled stadiums and broke records, sounded softer now, slower, careful. She looked straight into the camera and paused before speaking. This wasn't another announcement about a new album. It wasn't a tour. It wasn't a comeback. It was goodbye. 4 years. The world saw Mariah as untouchable. The high notes, the fame, the luxury, the image of someone who had everything under control. But behind that image, there was a different story. One that didn't make headlines, one that didn't fit the perfect narrative. And now, after a tragic diagnosis she had kept hidden, she was finally ready to tell the truth. Not just about her health, but about everything. The pain that started long before the fame. The pressure that never really stopped. The quiet moments where things almost fell apart. This is the story of how she got there. Long before the awards, the #1 hits, and the global fame, Mariah Carey was just a little girl trying to figure out where she belonged. She was born into a family that didn't feel stable. Her mother, Patricia, was a trained opera singer. Her father, Alfred, worked as an engineer. On paper, it looked like a normal household. But inside, things were different. There was tension almost all the time. Arguments that didn't stay quiet. Silence that felt heavy. Moments where things just didn't feel right. Her parents' relationship slowly broke down. And eventually, they separated. That changed everything. The home she knew became divided. And so did her sense of security. Mariah also grew up feeling like she didn't fully fit in anywhere. As a mixed-race child in neighborhoods that didn't always accept that, she faced confusion and isolation early on. Kids didn't always understand her. Adults didn't always know how to treat her. There were moments when she felt invisible, and other moments when she felt judged. She has talked before about how unpredictable her childhood felt. Some days were calm, others weren't. There were times when she didn't feel safe, even in her own home. So she found something that gave her a little control. Music. It started small. Listening to her mother sing. Watching, learning, picking up melodies. Over time, it became more than just something she enjoyed. It became her escape. When things got loud, she focused on the sound of her own voice. When things felt out of control, she sang. It was the one place where she could be exactly who she was without questions. But even then, there was something building underneath. A quiet pressure. A need to prove something. To become something more than where she came from. She didn't know it yet, but that feeling would follow her for the rest of her life. By the time she was a teenager, Mariah knew one thing for sure. She wanted out. Not just out of her house. Out of that environment. Out of the life that felt unpredictable and limiting. She had a dream, and it wasn't small. New York City. That's where she believed everything could change. After finishing high school, she moved there with almost nothing. No real connections. No steady income. Just a few songs, a strong voice, and a belief that somehow she could make it. But reality hit fast. She worked multiple jobs just to get by. Waitressing, coat checking, cleaning, whatever paid enough to survive another week. Rent was always a problem. Stability didn't exist. There were nights she didn't know where she'd sleep. Times she relied on friends' couches. Days where food wasn't guaranteed. Still, she kept going. Every free moment was spent chasing music, writing songs, recording rough demos, looking for anyone who might listen. Most people didn't. Some said no without even hearing her out. But she didn't stop. Then one night, something changed. At an industry event, she ended up in the same space as Tommy Mottola. It wasn't planned. It wasn't part of some big strategy. She handed him her demo tape. That was it. No long conversation. No guarantee. Just a tape. For most people, that moment would have been the end of the story. Another attempt, another maybe. But for Mariah, it became the turning point. Tommy listened. And almost immediately, he realized what he was hearing wasn't ordinary. Her voice stood out. Not just technically, But emotionally, there was something real in it. Something that couldn't be trained or copied. Within a short time, everything started moving fast. Meetings, contracts, studio sessions. The same girl who had been struggling to pay rent was suddenly stepping into a completely different world. But what looked like the beginning of a dream was also the beginning of something else. Something she didn't fully understand yet, and something that would shape the rest of her life. Everything changed almost overnight for Mariah Carey. One moment, she was struggling to survive in New York. The next, she was standing in recording studios, surrounded by producers, executives, and people who suddenly believed in her talent. Her debut album dropped, and it exploded. Hit after hit, charts climbing fast, her voice everywhere. People couldn't get enough of her. She wasn't just another new artist. She was different. The range, the tone, the way she could move between soft emotion and powerful highs, it made people stop and listen. And the industry noticed. Awards came quickly. Interviews lined up. Appearances, performances, photo shoots. It all started stacking up faster than she could process. From the outside, it looked perfect. But inside, things were moving too fast. There was pressure to stay consistent. Pressure to deliver another hit. Pressure to look a certain way, act a certain way, speak carefully, smile at the right moments. Every move was watched. And behind all of it, there were decisions being made for her. Her image, her sound, her schedule. It wasn't just her career anymore. It was a machine. She went from having nothing to having everything controlled. There were moments when she felt proud. Moments when she realized she had made it. But those moments didn't last long, because right after them came expectations. Bigger songs, bigger performances, less room to breathe. Sleep became rare, privacy disappeared, and slowly, she started to feel something she hadn't expected at the peak of success. Trapped. As her career grew, so did her connection with Tommy Mottola. At first, it looked like a strong partnership. He believed in her talent when others didn't. He helped build her career from the ground up. He had power in the industry, and he used it to push her forward. But over time, that relationship changed. It became more personal, and eventually they got married. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale. A powerful music executive and one of the biggest rising stars in the world. Success, money, influence, all in one place. But behind closed doors, it felt very different. Mariah later described that time as controlling, strict, isolating. Her life became heavily monitored. Where she went, who she spoke to, what she wore, how she presented herself. Even small decisions weren't fully hers anymore. The house they lived in didn't feel like a home. It felt watched, structured, almost like she was being managed 24/7. She wasn't just an artist anymore. She felt like a project. There were moments where she wanted to break out, to do something different, to express herself in ways that didn't fit the image built around her. But those moments were often shut down. She started to feel alone, even in a house full of people. The same voice that had given her freedom as a child now felt restricted, and the success that once felt like an escape started to feel like another kind of trap. Eventually, she couldn't take it anymore. The pressure, the control, the constant feeling of not being fully herself. Mariah made the decision to leave Tommy Mottola. The divorce wasn't just about ending a marriage. It was about taking back control of her life. For the first time in years, she had space. Freedom to choose her music. Freedom to change her image. Freedom to be herself. And she used it. Her style shifted. Her sound evolved. She stepped into a more personal, expressive version of her artistry. Something that felt real to her. Not something designed for her. But freedom came with its own challenges. The industry watched closely. The media watched even closer. Every move she made was analyzed. Some people supported her change. Others criticized it. There were headlines, rumors, constant noise. And while she was trying to rebuild her identity, something deeper was happening inside. The years of pressure hadn't just disappeared. They stayed with her. Emotionally, she was exhausted. Mentally, Things felt unstable. There were moments where she felt strong, and others where everything felt overwhelming. Her energy would shift quickly. High moments where she worked non-stop, created endlessly, pushed herself beyond limits. Then low moments where everything slowed down, where even basic things felt difficult. At the time, she didn't fully understand what was happening. She just knew something wasn't right. And instead of stopping, she kept going. Because that's what she had always done. Keep moving. Keep performing. Keep pushing through. Even if no one else could see what it was costing her. For years, Mariah Carey kept moving forward like nothing was wrong. From the outside, everything still looked big. Albums, tours, appearances, interviews. The same image people had always known. But behind that image, her reality was very different. There were days when her energy felt unstoppable. She would go hours without rest. Writing, recording, planning, talking, moving from one thing to another without slowing down. Ideas would come fast. Emotions would feel intense. Everything seemed sharp and alive. And then, without warning, it would shift. The energy would drop. Simple things started to feel heavy. Getting out of bed took effort. Conversations felt draining. The same voice that once carried her through everything became quiet. It wasn't just mood swings. It was deeper than that. But for a long time, she didn't put a name on it. Instead, she kept it hidden. Because in her world, showing weakness didn't feel like an option. There was always pressure to stay strong, stay perfect, stay in control. So she smiled in public. She performed on stage. She gave interviews like everything was fine, even when it wasn't. Eventually, she was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder. At first, she didn't accept it. She pushed it away, ignored it, tried to convince herself it wasn't real. Because accepting it meant facing something she had been running from for years. It meant admitting that what she was feeling wasn't just stress or exhaustion. It was something that needed attention. Something that wouldn't just go away. For a long time, she chose silence. Only a small circle knew the truth. The rest of the world kept seeing the same version of her they always had. But inside, she was managing a constant battle. Trying to stay balanced. Trying to keep working. Trying to protect her career while holding herself together. There were moments she came close to breaking. Moments where the pressure, the expectations, and the internal struggle all collided at once. But she kept going. Because stopping didn't feel possible. Not yet. At 57, things reached a point where she couldn't ignore it anymore. The signs had been there for a while. Fatigue that didn't go away. Physical pain that kept returning. Moments where her body didn't respond the way it used to. At first, it was easy to brush off. Long career. Years of performing. Stress. Travel. It all made sense. Until it didn't. Doctors started running tests. Appointments became more frequent. Answers became more serious. And then came the diagnosis. The kind that changes how you see everything. For Mariah, it wasn't just another health issue. It was something that forced her to stop and really look at her life. Not the career, not the fame, but her body, her limits, and what she had been pushing through for decades. The news hit hard. Not just because of what it meant physically, but because of what it meant for her future. For the first time, continuing at the same pace wasn't an option. The doctors were clear. If she kept going the way she had been, it would only get worse. That was the moment everything shifted. All the years of pushing through pain. All the time she ignored the signs. All the moments she chose work over rest. They caught up with her. And she knew it. This wasn't something she could perform through. This wasn't something she could hide behind a smile. This was real. And it forced her to make a decision she had never seriously considered before. To step away. Not because she wanted to, but because she had to. The hardest part wasn't just accepting the diagnosis. It was accepting what came with it. Letting go of the stage. Letting go of the routine. Letting go of the version of herself the world had known for so long. For someone who had spent her entire life pushing forward, stopping felt unfamiliar. Almost impossible. But this time, there was no other choice. And deep down, She knew it was time to say something she had never said before. Goodbye. When Mariah Carey finally made the decision, it didn't come in one dramatic moment. It came slowly, quietly, over days, then weeks, then long nights where sleep didn't come easy. She had spent most of her life pushing forward. Even when things felt wrong, she moved anyway. Even when her body told her to stop, she kept going. That had been her normal for decades. So choosing to step away didn't feel natural. It felt like going against everything she had trained herself to do. At first, she didn't tell anyone outside her closest circle. A few trusted people knew what was happening. They saw the exhaustion. They saw the changes in her health. They understood what the doctors had said. But the public didn't know. Fans didn't know. And for a while, she kept it that way. She still showed up when she could. Still made appearances. Still kept that familiar image alive. But behind the scenes, things were different. Schedules were shorter. Breaks were longer. Silence started replacing noise. There were days she would sit alone, thinking about everything she had built. The music, the records, the voice that carried her through every stage of life. And then the question would come back again and again. How do you walk away from something that defined you? It wasn't just a career. It was her identity. But at the same time, she knew something had to change. The diagnosis wasn't something she could ignore anymore. The physical toll was real. The mental exhaustion was real. And for the first time, she allowed herself to admit something she had never said out loud before. I can't keep doing this the same way. That didn't mean she stopped loving music. It meant she had to start choosing herself. That shift didn't happen easily. There were moments of doubt. Moments where she questioned if she was making the right decision. Moments where she thought about pushing through one more time, doing one more performance, recording one more project. Because that's what she had always done. But every time she thought about it, the same reality came back. Her body wouldn't allow it anymore. And this time, ignoring it wasn't an option. Eventually, she reached a point where she stopped fighting the idea. Instead of seeing it as giving up, she started seeing it differently. She saw it as taking control. For the first time in a long time, this decision wasn't coming from a label, a manager, or outside pressure. It was hers. That mattered. When she finally chose to make it public, she didn't rush it. There were no sudden announcements, no dramatic headlines planned in advance. She wanted it to feel real. So she decided to speak directly to the people who had been there from the beginning. Her fans. No scripts written by a team. No polished performance. Just her. A camera was set up in a simple room. No stage lights. No production. Just a quiet space that felt honest. Before recording, she sat there for a while. Thinking. Breathing. Trying to find the right words. Because how do you say goodbye to something that has been part of you for your entire life? She didn't have a perfect answer. So she didn't try to make it perfect. She just pressed record and started speaking. The video began without music. No intro. No dramatic build-up. Just Mariah Carey sitting there, looking directly into the camera. For a few seconds, she didn't say anything. You could see it in her face. This wasn't easy. Then she took a breath and started. Hey, it's me. Her voice was softer than people were used to hearing. Not weak, but careful. Measured. I didn't really know how to do this, so I'm just gonna talk. There was no performance in her tone. No attempt to sound polished. Just honesty. I've been doing this for a long time. And you guys have been there through all of it. The good, the messy, the parts one didn't even understand myself. She paused again. I never wanted to be the kind of person who disappears without saying something real. That line stayed with people, because for years, there had always been a distance between the image and the person. But not here. Not now. I'm dealing with some health things, and I've been dealing with them for longer than I let people know. She didn't go into technical details. She didn't list medical terms or try to explain everything. Instead, she focused on what it felt like. There were days I thought I could push through it, like I always did, and for a while I did. A small, tired smile crossed her face. But I can't keep doing that anymore. That was the moment everything became real. Not just for her, but for everyone watching. I've spent so much of my life trying to keep going. Even when I probably should have stopped. I didn't really know how to stop. She looked down for a second, then back up. I'm learning now. There was no dramatic music telling people how to feel. No editing cutting away from the moment. Just her, sitting there, saying things she had likely never said out loud before. I'm not saying goodbye to music, because that's always going to be a part of me. That line brought a small sense of relief. But then she continued. I am saying goodbye to doing it the way I have been. That's where the weight came back. No more tours. No more constant public appearances. No more pushing her body past its limits. I have to take care of myself now. In a way I didn't before. Her voice cracked slightly, not in a dramatic way, but in a real one. The kind you can't fake. I wish I could have been stronger about that earlier. Another pause. But I'm here now. She leaned forward just a little. And I just want to say thank you. Not a quick thank you. A long one. To everyone who listened, who showed up, who stayed with me even when things weren't perfect. She didn't list awards. She didn't talk about records. She talked about people. That's what I'm gonna remember. Near the end, her voice became quieter. I don't know what things are gonna look like next. And that's scary for me. That honesty stood out more than anything. Because for once, she wasn't presenting certainty. She was admitting fear. But I know I can't keep pretending everything's fine when it's not. And then finally, she said the words people didn't want to hear. So, this is me stepping back. Not forever. Not the end. Just stepping back. She took a breath. I love you guys. I always will. And then, almost like she was speaking to herself as much as anyone else, I'm gonna be okay. The video didn't end with music. It ended with silence. No fade-out speech. No dramatic closing. Just her reaching forward and turning the camera off. So, yeah, that's where things stand. No big performance. No dramatic exit. Just a real moment from someone who's been in the spotlight for most of her life and is finally choosing to step away from it. And honestly, it hits different when you see it like this. Not as a headline. Not as a rumor. But as a person making a hard decision. We've all watched Mariah Carey for years. Her voice, her music, the way she carried herself through everything. And now, seeing her like this, just being real, it stays with you. So what do you think about this? Do you think she made the right decision stepping back now? Or do you feel like there's still more she could have given? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, real stories, not just what's on the surface, go ahead and hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'll keep digging into the lives people think they already understand, and show you what's actually there. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.